we're all learning on a daily basis. Is there a concept called learning how to learn? If you ever wondered, is there a better way to learn? We are not giving our 100% focus. You don't require to remember everything that you learn. We usually forget 50% of what we learned in the next hour. For us to create signal from the noise, we need to make some choices. So there are higher chances for your brain to retain this information for a longer time. So without any further ado, let's get into the topic. Hello everyone, this is Kapil Reddy, founder and CEO of Superly. Today we're going to talk about a topic which is very dear to my heart and something which is like a foundation element for what we're trying to build at Superly. We're all learning. Like every single day we are learning. We are consuming information from various different sources. But are we doing it effectively? Tell me one thing, how many of you ever felt, I just learned about it yesterday, I just read about it somewhere, I just had this understanding somewhere. I just can't remember where I read this. You're not alone in this. Most of us have this feeling. And there's a reason why it's happening. Because we are not giving our 100% focus. Or we're not following some effective techniques that can actually help you learn more effectively. Trust me, anything which is half-baked is pure waste of time. So whenever you're trying to learn something, put your 100% effort. And with the help of these small techniques which I'm going to talk about today, trust me, you'll see a significant spike in the way you learn. Of course, Superly is being built for the exact same reason. This is the problem we're trying to solve. We want to help you become the most efficient learners. And we are incorporating all these principles. So we are making it a lot more easy for you to actually practice more effective learning. But more on that later. Usually, learning comprises of two things. One is understanding, second is remembering. If you understand well and remember or retain for a longer time, that's good learning. That's exactly what we're going to focus today. So the first step today we're going to talk about is do not rely on memorization. So memorization is very short-lived. It's not helpful for you in the long run. Of course, I think all of us have this habit, right? We just study just a day before the exam. And there's like a slang we use for it as well, which is one day batting. Of course, that's what we were doing. All of us do, right? Just imagine how much of it can you actually remember. Yes, probably you would have scored a distinction in the exam. But did it actually help you apart from the marks part? I don't think so. Just try explaining it to somebody. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't, at least I 100% cannot do it. I can't even remember what I wrote in my exams. But I was definitely a good pointer. So this is not effective. So as such, as I told, do not focus on short-term memorization. That's not going to be helpful. The second tip is understand what you learn. The easiest way to understand if you actually got the concept is to explain it to somebody. And this is nothing but feynman technique. So always try to follow this. Let's say you learn a new topic. Try to explain it to a 12-year-old. See how far they're able to understand what you've explained. If they're able to understand the concept, then you're right on the spot. You've definitely understood the concept. In this way, try to refine, re-engage and learn more effectively. And then organize and repeat the process. In this way, once you understand the concept or if you're confident enough to explain it to somebody, then there are higher chances that you are going to master this concept. So try doing it more often so that you can absorb a lot of information. And also since you're trying to talk to somebody, you're probably more focused, I think, because you're getting that attention of a person. So that itself will help you to be more focused, concentrated, and there are higher chances you will remember things for a very long time. So coming to the third tip, it's something I'm pretty sure a lot of you would have heard. If not, it's called spaced repetition. The spaced repetition is nothing but you learn something at a spaced interval. So you have some set interval set for you to learn the concept. It's nothing but active recall. So there are higher chances for your brain to retain this information for a longer time. Of course, see, this is something, right? Like you don't require to remember everything that you learn. There are certain things which you want to remember for a longer time. And in those scenarios, you can 100% use the spaced repetition technique. Because it will give you a structure to your learning. So you can be more focused on, okay, this is the topic I want to remember for a very long time. And you can just space out the intervals so that you can actually remember it for a long time. We usually forget 50% of what we learned in the next hour. That's exactly how much distracted we are. And unless we put in some effort, there's no way you can retain this information. And imagine all the time that you're wasting in learning these things which you're not able to retain for a longer time. I think that itself will answer the question. And again, that's the exact problem we're trying to solve. We want to give your time back. We want to make your time more effective so that you can be a more effective learner. That's exactly what Superly is all about. Fourth step is, again, as I told, it's nothing but kind of an extension for spaced repetition. It's called active recall. And there are different methods you can use for active recall. The reason why active recall is very effective is it will help you to be more interactive with the material. You are more absorbed into the material. So there are higher chances that you can recall something. And even for this, as I told, there are some very basic tips. So these are some basic methods which you can follow to become more pro at active recalling. First and foremost, flashcards. All of us have heard flashcards, right? You just flip a card and you see it can be either a question and answer or it can just be a concept. It's just like flipping a card. It's actually a lot of fun to use flashcards once you get used to it. As I told, flashcards is definitely the most effective way and it's a lot more fun, and try to customize it to what exactly you want to learn. It will also help you to summarize the concepts, or let's say you want to revise the concepts at a later point. Flashcards are very, very effective. Of course, needless to say, Zoopally has got flashcards and we are tweaking it in such a way that you will enjoy the experience of using a flashcard. So that's something I am very excited to look forward to. And I wish to hear your feedback as well. Second thing is whiteboard recall. So you can see whiteboards all around, right? It's a very good practice if you start writing something. Let's say you want to learn something, just start writing about it on the whiteboard and then just turn your head around and try to recall what you've written. Then that itself will help you to understand if you're able to actively recall what you've written. So that is one very simple technique which you can 100% follow. One observation I had was a lot of people use whiteboard very effectively. Especially all the leaders around the world, or engineering managers or designers, you name it, most of them use whiteboard very effectively. It gives them a lot more clarity, and I personally experienced it myself. To be honest, earlier I was not a big user of whiteboard, but now I've started using it more often and I can 100% see the difference. So yeah, please try it out and I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy the process as well. The final tip in this active recall is visual learning. So yes, we are all people who love visuals, right? The reason why we enjoy movies, or let's say whatever we see play, like you just go traveling, you see places. So we are people who love visuals, and visual recall is something again very effective. Let's say for example you are learning about a topic called Bitcoin. Just maybe have a visual saying that right now the crash is going on. Just have that visual. So whenever you see the visual, I think there are higher chances that you can recall the concept of Bitcoin. That's just one example. Like that, let's say you want to learn about meditation. Think about a good nature picture of mountains or a forest, whatever it is. So whenever you're trying to get into meditation, you'll probably relate that visual element to this part. And it's completely up to you. That's the best part, right? You are free to choose what visual element you want to pick for that piece of learning. And in this way, once you practice effectively, you will see that you're able to recall information for a longer time in a more effective way. So finally, concluding the video, as I told, these are some very basic techniques, not hard to use at all, but once you start using it, you can get a lot more structure and clarity to your learning, which is 100% missing right now. I told you, right? I think I've been stressing on it that we are part of this information overload century. For us to create signal from the noise, we need to make some choices. And one such choice is to try and do this or practice these techniques so that you can be much more confident about what you're learning. And most importantly, you're not ending up losing your time and energy learning something which is not of any use. Again, as I told, on a daily basis, it's not like everything we learn is useful to us. There are certain bits we 100% want to retain. So try identifying those and retain it for a longer time by using these simple practices. As I told previously, Zoopally is exactly solving this problem, and we are very excited. We are the first users of Zoopally and we are very excited about this. We can't wait for you guys to try it out and let us know the feedback. So yeah, that's it from my side. As I told, the whole idea behind this YouTube series is for me to spread the word around such simple techniques for all of us. Like productivity shouldn't be, like something which you have to put a lot of energy, a lot of effort into and feel overwhelmed about it, which is unfortunately what is happening right now. So that's why we're trying to condense the information. We want to make productivity a daily thing for a lot of people. We want productivity to be so seamless into your day-to-day life. That's exactly why we're doing these videos, to spread the word that productivity is not difficult. These are very simple techniques, but once you start following it, you'll feel much more confident and much better about it. And that's exactly our intention. So yes, as usual, please do like, subscribe and comment on this. If you have any other suggestions for us, please do let us know. And we'll come back with more such informative videos around how to learn more effectively, how to retain something for a longer time. And until then, I hope you all have a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.